So hey you guys, this is Glamazon Tay and I'm back with a new video. Now if you guys are interested on this hair, I actually have a tutorial up on that as well, so you guys can go ahead and check that out. But this time is going to be the story time about my crazy roommate. Now I know before when I did my story times when I was in college, I used to it would always be some shit that was going down in my house with my roommate. Like, it just was always some crazy ass shit. So basically, I remember one time in the middle of a story time, I was like, oh my god. Like, I heard this big ass knock and basically it ended up being the police, and I was like, I'm gonna have to give y'all a recap on basically what that was. So I never even got a chance to doing it, and then I never thought about it until now. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just go ahead and do the story time. So I think first things first, the police had came to our house or something like that. So when the police came to our house that one time, they had like served some papers. And of course the papers weren't for me, so I didn't open them up and be nosy. But after a while, I found out that the papers were serving from a restraining order. So basically, after it had served for a restraining order, we had like this big house meeting and everything, and everybody talked about it and stuff like that, because it was like a restraining order of her and some other girl. But it was, I never knew who this girl was, and she did go to school. She did live on our college campus as well, but I didn't even know who she was, so it was no, I didn't understand anything. I just kind of like stayed in my own business, mind my own thing, and I didn't know what everybody else was doing anyway. So the way this was set up is that I lived downstairs. Now when I lived downstairs, I had my own bathroom, and then it was 2 rooms upstairs, and it was a bathroom in the middle. Y'all, let me tell you what happened, and I might even have to make this into a part 2 because it's gonna, I hope it's not that long, but I'm gonna just try to break it down for y'all. So like I said, I sleep downstairs. So basically the way my room is really big. I had a window in my bathroom, and then I had a window in my room, and then it's like the living room and all that other stuff. So this night, I figured both my roommates had went home this weekend, and I'm just thinking to myself, well, both of them went home, not to our house, but went home to their family's house. So basically I got the whole house to myself, just me and Denim. Now my roommate upstairs did have a boyfriend, but at this time I don't believe he was spending the night. I don't think he was living there. Like, eventually he ended up living there, and I liked him, he was cool, but I don't remember, I just thought he wasn't home or something like that. So I'm sleeping in my bed, and it's about maybe 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, because it had to be extremely late. So when I wake, so I'm sleeping in my bed, me and Denim and everything like that, and I had like my Christmas lights. You guys know I always have my Christmas lights around my window. Like, that's just how I sleep with stuff. So I hear this big noise, like, and I'm like woken up out of my sleep. Like, the noise was louder than that. Like, it was a traumatic big ass noise. So I'm like, what the fuck was that? But I heard it, so meaning it was downstairs, but I didn't hear it and faint in my room. So it was in my bathroom. I heard the window. So like I said, I live on the first floor, and it was kind of like the hood. So I was in a way like confused of what was going on. So the first instinct is to get up. Now Denim, she normally says she's barking or doing something, but I really believe she was like in a deep sleep, because she didn't wake up. And if you're wondering, Denim is my dog, but she didn't wake up like until she heard the noise, and I got up. So I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, normally I get an alert from her before anything. So when I get up, I go into my bathroom. So when I go into my bathroom, I'm looking, and when I'm looking, I didn't even pull my blinds up. I went into the little piece, like, you know, you can peel one back, and I peeled it back, and I was looking out there. When I say, it was like maybe 5 or 6 girls out there, and it was like 4 or 5 niggas, and we literally live right across the street from the gas station. So I'm gonna have to try to show y'all the lineup of basically where they was at. So basically at my window, it was like hella people out there, like damn near surrounding that house. Let me mind you, my car is out there. I don't see any other cars. So I'm just wondering, where the fuck is everybody at? Well, everybody's going home, but at the time I was like, where the fuck is everybody at? And then I was like, damn, everybody went home. So I'm thinking like, what are they trying to, like, break in the house? Like, it almost was like, it wasn't like they were trying to be sneaky about it. Like, they were mad. And it was like, we had a chair outside, so they had took the chair and tried to bang my bathroom window in. And when they did that, that was the problem. They were trying to get into the house. So after they had basically threw that chair at them, when I seen all them walking around out there, and it was like, tell that bitch, I don't want to say her name, it was like, tell that bitch Jessica to come outside, tell that bitch Jessica to come outside. So I'm sitting there like, what the fuck? Like, she not even here. Now mind you, Jessica is my roommate. So I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is going on? So I'm like, I'm not gonna say I was scared, but I was like, really, like, what the fuck is going on? And all I kept thinking is, these bitches and niggas is trying to get in this fucking house. And I think all together maybe it was like 10 or 15 people outside. So they was just saying, tell that bitch Jessica come outside, tell that bitch Jessica come outside. But they still didn't see me. All they knew is it was somebody home, but they didn't know who was home, and they didn't know the layout of nobody's room or nothing like that. So then I'm like, I close my blind a little bit and then I go back into my room. So something said like, turn your Christmas lights off, because you know you can kind of see your Christmas lights from outside. So I unclick my Christmas lights and I'm holding denim in my arm. So I hear like boom, 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 and I was like, what the fuck? So I go in the living room. Let me mind you, the whole house is dark, so these people don't even hear me moving around and things like that. In the living room was where the front door was. Apparently the girl, she was like, had her back to the door and was trying to kick the door in to get inside. Now me, I told you guys one time when I was really mad before and I was trying to get one of my exes, I kicked the door down and got inside of the house. So I know that if somebody is really that mad and their adrenaline is really pumping that bad, they can get the fuck in the house. So I'm just sitting there like, what the fuck? And if my other roommate, the one that I really was cool with, not Jessica, but the other one was there, I probably would have went outside and been like, what's the problem? What the fuck is good? But I really thought that I was there by myself. So me being by myself, I'm not about to open the door so that all these people can stampede in this bitch and then I'm by myself anyway. From prior experiences and knowing when somebody like kicks the door in and they're trying to get the fuck in, you're not worried about me, you're worried about getting to that person. So if anything, y'all could have whipped my ass. It's like 15 of these motherfuckers, I don't know. So it's like hella people in the front trying to kick the door in. So I'm like, only thing I can think of is to call the police. Like, mind you, I only have called the police twice in my life. And I told y'all, first time I called it was when this girl I was talking to and the bitch tried to take my keys and was throwing them over the water. But this is the second time, because I don't call no cops. Like if I'm in a relationship and she's beating my ass, bitch, she's just beating my ass and I'm beating her ass, because I don't be doing that stuff. So I'm not a damn cop caller, but I was like, let me call these police. So I called the police and they're like, what's going on? And I tell them the whole situation and things like that. So I tell them it's like 15 people outside, they trying to get in and they're kicking the door and they're doing crazy shit and everything like that. So while I'm doing that, my first instinct is to go upstairs. I don't know why, so I could see a better view of everything and everybody literally couldn't be looking me in my face. I walk upstairs and when I'm walking up to the stairs, I realized I hear somebody yelling from upstairs. So when I hear somebody yelling, it wasn't Jessica, because she wasn't there. It was my other roommate's boyfriend. Remember I said he used to stay there from time to time. He was yelling out the window like, get the fuck off the property. Jessica ain't fucking here. Y'all need to get the fuck out of here. So I'm like, oh shit, if I knew this nigga was here, I would have been took my ass downstairs and like went hammer. But I'm like, oh, I didn't know you was in here. He was like, I didn't know you was in here. So finally they go out there going crazy. Like I swear, I thought they was gonna like jump on my car. They didn't do shit in my car, but of course Jessica didn't have a car, so I figured they wasn't gonna do shit in my car. But I didn't know. I didn't have a clue, because they were so mad. Like they was throwing rocks at the windows just trying to get in that bitch. So like they was just trying to get in that bitch. So by this time, me and him talking, he was like, they must be trying to get Jessica, because I heard him yelling her name and we saying to them, she's not here. Well, he was yelling out the window, she not fucking here. Get the fuck off, I come outside. So he's like African, so he has like a big ass knife. Like he had a big ass knife. So he's like, I'm ready to go the fuck outside. I don't play that dumb shit. So I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck? So I'm staying here calling Jessica phone. Police still haven't made it there. I'm sitting here calling Jessica phone. She not answering. First it rang a couple times, then the bitch is like ignoring the call, ignoring the call. Now mind you, she was a night owl. She stayed up all night. So I believe she knew what was happening, because it was just too crazy. Like I feel like she just had a feeling like nobody's randomly just gonna pop up at your house. Like, you know what I mean? So she not there. I'm steady calling her number. She not calling. So he ready to go outside. So I'm like, no, don't go outside on no dumb shit like that. Like you ready to go out here with a fucking knife. And he was about that fucking life. So I didn't put his shit past him. So by the time I hear the police coming up, when I see the lights, all these people scattered. The cars is gone. They driving off. They like running off, getting off, everything. So the police tell us to open up the door. So I opened up the door and he was like, so what happened? I was like, I don't know. But the only reason I called you is because they was trying to really bust into the house. To be honest, if they was just outside not trying to bust the windows and get in and bust the doors to get inside, I wouldn't have did nothing. But they really was like fucking the house up trying to get in. But thank God they couldn't get in. Because like I said, I busted the door down and I'm only one singular person by myself. It's hella people outside. So I don't know if that like had to be God, because they couldn't get in. Because any other time, like if somebody really want to kick a door down, I'm not gonna say it's not hard, but if you mad, you can kick a fucking door down. Boot marks on the front door, like filled with fucking grass. Then they seen the chairs, like the chairs was thrown all over the yard from when they had just tried to bust the windows open to get in. and all this big wild crazy shit. So me and the nigga from upstairs, he come downstairs and he told them what happened on his side, and I told him, they was like, do you want to do a police report? I was like, no, I don't want to do a police report, because honestly, I just didn't want them fucking up the house trying to get in. I didn't really care, and I didn't know who it was. Like I said, I didn't know who they was anyway. So he was like, cool, well, we'll just patrol around the yard, and patrol around the area so that they don't come back and shit like that. So everything was cool, and then we called, remember I told you the African nigga upstairs, my girlfriend was my roommate. So we called her, and she was up, and she don't never be up at nighttime. So we called her and told her what's happening. Come to find out later, like, the way the setup was, so our house was right here, and then you figure her boyfriend house was behind us. So later on we find out that she was at her boyfriend house the whole time, heard them yelling, heard them going crazy, heard them doing shit, and just act like I guess she was scared. She just didn't want to come back over to the house, or she didn't want to come outside and be a woman about the shit and really handle the shit. Like, it was on some crazy shit, like she just stayed in that house. But we knew she had to hear it because her boyfriend's window was right behind our house, so we knew she kind of had to know what everything was going on. So the next day she called us, she asked them what happened, we told her, wanted us to make statements and stuff like that, and I was like, I'm not doing a statement. The boyfriend from upstairs, my other roommate, was like, he not doing a statement because it wasn't our issue. Like, I'm not going to get into it. We wasn't going to get into it because it's on some real shit. Like, this is your drama. You're the one that brought this to the house. Like, you need to handle this. Bless you, them. You need to handle this shit. You know what I mean? After that and all that stuff, when I tell you, it was so many more fucking altercations. Like, I don't want this video to be too long, but it was so many more altercations after that. Like, I remember one time they was beating her up outside. Like, this shit was crazy. But after all that, they did leave, and it was like, the shit was cool for like a week, and then next thing you know, the girl came back. So if you guys want me to go ahead and do another story time basically on what happened when the girls came back the second time and all that shit, definitely get this video to 3,000 likes, and then I'll just go ahead and release the next story time. But like I said, both my roommates was cool. I was cooler with one than the other, but I just did not really fuck with that shit of how that girl kept coming to the house. Like, I really just wasn't fooling with that shit, because on another level, like, don't bring drama to the house and then you don't deal with your own drama. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys. See ya.